How is it going today, guys? Today's walk and talk. I'm at yet another cemetery in Puerto Rico, and this is called the Cementerio Municipal Santa Rosa. And it is in Hatillo, Puerto Rico. It's just another little gem of a cemetery on the island. I've been here before. Once on my first walk when I walked from San Juan to Aguada, and I wanted to come back and visit it today because it's a very photogenic old cemetery, and you guys know how I like the old cemeteries. And they do a heck of a job maintaining and upkeeping this cemetery. Although it looks really packed and whatnot, it is super easy to walk through. It's like I said, they did a just bang up job making sure you can walk through the cemetery. And really, there's a lot of cemeteries on the island that could come take notes on how they've got things ran here, because like I said, it's a very easy walk through. And as usual, it's in the heart of the city. It's right across from the power grid, as you can see over there, and it's right off of the main highway, so you're gonna hear a lot of cars through this walk and talk. And I just kind of wanted to take you guys around and show you guys a couple of the cool, unique statues that this cemetery has to offer. It's a nice sunny day out today, but the weather report says there's going to be a rainstorm coming in soon. Sure is a pretty old cemetery. Like every town here in Puerto Rico, they've got new cemeteries too, but they're just not as interesting as these old historic cemeteries are. So these are the cemeteries I like to spend my time in mostly. As you can see, I'm having no struggle walking through here because everything's so clear. And the ground's dirt instead of grass, which just makes everything a lot easier. Gonna get to an actual path here though. A lot of old, a lot of new. It's crazy how many power lines there are around this cemetery too. It kind of reminds me of the old cemetery that I went to in San German, and if you look back on my page long enough, you will know what I'm talking about, because San German, it has a old cemetery that's right by a big switchyard too. And as you can see, there's lots of traffic all around this old historic little cemetery. But let's check out some of their cool old headstones over here, you guys. As usual, I'm a little zonked out. It took me a couple hours to walk out here from my apartment, and I've been here for a couple hours just roasting in the sun, so I'm a little bit of a mess. Got a killer headache too. I walked from Mayagüez to Arecibo, and it took me about a week, and I slept outside and stuff, and I didn't get very much sleep and got hit by the elements pretty good, so I just had a horrid headache yesterday that I'm still kind of recovering from. But it happens on these journeys. Wanted to show you guys this giant tomb right here. It's so old. and weather worn and beat up. I couldn't even tell you who's buried here. Maybe the municipality knows, but all of the markings are even just gone. It's crazy. The weather's done a number on it. So it's definitely probably one of the older tombs in this cemetery. But there's a couple like really awesome statues over here. I just can't stress enough how good of a job they do keeping this cemetery maintained and upkept. A lot of people might have something to say about the cleanliness of a lot of the cemeteries in Puerto Rico, but I don't think they understand the humid and wet environment here on the island and how it just doesn't agree with the Catholic cemetery, you know, structure. These cemeteries, I don't think, were made to do well in places like Puerto Rico, but it's just what we find ourselves with. That is a beautiful statue of Mary and Jesus, isn't it? And it doesn't look as creepy as some of the other Mary and Jesus statues that we're used to seeing. You gotta love the cars that have the really loud, obnoxious music. That's kind of a staple here on the island. And it just is what it is. Sometimes when I'm out on my adventures trying to go to sleep on a bench, it can be really aggravating, but like I said, it is what it is. I'm not here to change anything. I'm just a wanderer and a visitor, and I'll go with the flow. I got a couple more big adventures planned in the future. I want to go to Manatee, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what the middle of the island's like this year, because this is my third trip in Puerto Rico and I walked all around the coastlines. And the only reason why I'm walking some of the coastlines again is because I wanted to take better pictures of some of these amazing cemeteries that I found on my first trip out here. And when I first came out here, all I had was a little Android camera, so the pictures, to be honest with you, pretty much sucked, and they were very low quality. And you could notice that if you go back and look at some of my earlier episodes about the cemeteries in Puerto Rico that I made like 2-3 years ago. I still like them and all, it's just the photo quality just really wasn't up to par for the books that I wanted to make. There's so much traffic in Puerto Rico, it's crazy. Yeah, I really like this cemetery and I'm glad I didn't skip it and I came back to do a revisit of it, because like I said, the crew does a bang up job keeping this cemetery up. There's no weeds, there's no grass, there's very little garbage, and all things considered, this is a immaculate cemetery in my opinion. But there's this really awesome statue over here that I want to show you guys, and this is the only cemetery I've ever seen one like it in. So kind of curious as to the meaning of it and whatnot, and I'll find out. I think I'm gonna do a statue series when I get back home in Washington and just kind of like learn and explain like the meaning of a lot of these statues here in Puerto Rico. And I don't know, I think you guys will like that, this right here. Very pretty and unique, and has definitely stood the test of time. It's probably been here, the person that's buried here died in 1940, so the statue theoretically is almost 100 years old. It's just definitely a unique one. It's the only one of its kind that I've seen here on the island, and I've been to about 50-60 cemeteries here, so pretty cool. As usual, I'm by myself. I haven't seen anybody else besides the person that's managing the cemetery and one of the workers, but it's about lunchtime right now, so they're off getting a bite to eat, and I haven't seen anybody coming to visit their families yet today, so I'm by myself, which I don't mind. Everywhere else in this town is packed, and I get this whole cemetery to myself. I think it's awesome. I love my time to myself anyways, so I think that's part of what makes me gravitate towards these cemeteries is that, you know, I just get a lot of quiet, peaceful time here. Even in the most busiest places in the world, you go to the cemetery and it's usually nice and quiet. Like I said, we're just in the heart of the people, so you can see the gas station over across the street there. They have a lot of gas stations in Puerto Rico. There's a lot of cars on this island. It is crazy how many cars are driving around in Puerto Rico all the time. The main highway is packed all day. And there's a little respite between like 1 in the morning and 4 in the morning, which is why lately, at least on this trip, I've been walking between 1 and 4 in the morning a lot, because not only is it nice and cool out, but there's not nearly as much cars to have to worry about. So it's just a new strategy I picked up. You get a little bit wiser every year. You know, every trip I make, I get a little wiser. I really like this statue here too. I really like the Mary Jesus statues for whatever reason. They always get my attention in every cemetery I go to. The cemetery definitely has some unique statues that I haven't seen in other cemeteries, so it's quite interesting. But yeah, here in this next month that I have an apartment that I can call home base, and I can just go on like 3-day adventures and stuff. I'm excited to show you guys some new cemeteries that I haven't been to before. Because, you know, most of the cemeteries that you guys have seen this year so far, if you've followed my channel, you'll know that, heck, I've already been to all of them, just about. I think I've only showed you guys one new cemetery that isn't already on my channel. And that will change soon, because I got about 10 new cemeteries that I'm excited about visiting and showing you guys. throughout like the next month, month and a half before I go home. And go home and go back to my abandoned farmhouses and pioneer farmer cemeteries for a while, which I have plenty of new houses that I can't wait to show you guys as well. I'm very excited for the newer abandoned farmhouses that I haven't been to yet. And by newer, I mean just ones that I haven't been to. They're just as old as all the rest of the abandoned farmhouses. Gosh, it's just so easy to walk through this cemetery. I'm just amazed. Hopefully the person that's running it gets back from lunch before I leave, because I'd like to tell him that he's doing a bang up job here. This is another awesome statue I wanted to show you guys. But yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, walking around. I already took a bunch of shots of this cemetery, so I'm pretty excited to get out of here and go get a bite to eat. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm starving. A lot of good food in Puerto Rico. But let's go walk down here first and check some stuff out. Still just amazes me how empty of people all of these cemeteries always seem to be. And I just wonder if it's a new age thing. Has it always been like this? Because it's not really a Puerto Rico thing. I noticed this in Washington State too. I'm usually just always by myself. These aren't places that people like to be in for whatever reason. And I don't know why. I'd like to work in a cemetery, but I wouldn't want to work in just one and show up to the same one every day. If I could just go from cemetery to cemetery, week to week, and do work, it would probably about be my dream job. Like if I can get paid to come here and do some weed eating for like a week, and then next week I can get paid to go to Arecibo and do some cleanup for a week, and so on and so forth, I would be like really happy with a job like that. I think I'd get kind of bored though, just working at one cemetery. That sun is not playing any games. It is just cooking me. I'm glad there's some wind today. It's one of the things I like about the coastal towns here that are right by the ocean. At least you get some of that ocean breeze. If it wasn't for that ocean breeze, I think I would just die out here, you know. And I like the mountain towns because they seem to be a little cooler. The only downfall is they rain like crazy. And that rain will whoop up on me too, so you kind of just gotta go with the flow. It's Puerto Rico. This is another like really old statue too here. Kind of creepy, but pretty awesome at the same time. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this one. I'm pretty gassed out, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching my channel. Have a good rest of your day or night.